Brought to you by Refi. Refinance your defaulted private student loans today at yrefi.com/Ramsey.
Do you all personally own any physical precious metals, gems, have visas, or even ammunition for the purpose of protecting against societal collapse?
Great question. I got just the guy here to answer that. The only guy I know who's actually mentioned the word societal collapse, Dr. John Deloney.
Tell me what's going on in your heart, man.
Well, thank you very much for taking the call again. And, I have two young girls. I'm an aspiring grandfather. I'm pretty young. I'm looking at the national debt and how we're really getting into some significant debts. And I could imagine in several decades it being unmanageable and perhaps collapsing the dollar. And I don't think Trump or Musk can fix it. And even if they could, I don't think that could be sustained long enough to where, you wouldn't cause huge civil unrest.
So, as a guy who's a fellow worrier and a guy who's a fellow looking to the future to always try to read the tea leaves so I can start doing things now, right? I'm with you. And the national debt, it super concerns me. And somebody sent me a video of Ronald Reagan doing a speech before he was president, and he was talking about the national debt. And so was the next president, and on. So it's been something that's been in the air and in the water for a long time. It's a problem. It's got to get solved. I also saw a thing today that Waymo has like 2,000 automated cars that are about to start doing like Uber type driving in your area in Phoenix, right? Why do I bring that up? Dude, who knows what 10, 20, 30 years are going to look like from now? And what I do know is this, that when you gin up a story about, you have confirmed in your mind about a tragedy that's coming your way, even 20, 30, 40 years away, your body responds as though it's happening right now. And it takes you away from critical thinking in the current moment, and it takes you away from being present from those precious little girls that you want to preserve their livelihood and their way of life into the future. And so here's a couple of ways that I have dealt with this. Number one, going back to the basics. As my friend Dr. Lane Norton says, I don't step over $100 bills to pick up nickels anymore. So before I'm going to get into precious metals and bullets, I'm going to say, do I owe anybody any money? As for me and my family, are we actually free? And I'm going to work really hard to do that, right? Before I get into some like biohacks, I'm going to go to the gym and I'm going to start exercising and I'm going to start eating right. I'm going to start there, and then I'll start hacking around the edges. The second thing is the data on collapses. One of the greatest hedges, if not the greatest hedge you can have, is robust, connected relationships with your neighbors. They trust you, you trust them, and y'all solve problems together. And that doesn't get a lot of press, and you can't buy that off of Amazon. And so if you are truly, truly concerned about the US dollar going away and the world imploding, really get to know the people around you. Have them over for dinner. Become friends with them. Talk about values. Go fishing together. You don't have any water in Phoenix, so I don't know, maybe go for a walk in the desert. But that's not sexy, and that's not cool, and that's not in a John Wick movie. But that's the truth and the reality. Then, no, I don't have hidden jewels in my backyard. I have lots of ammunition, but I travel a lot for hunting and stuff like that. So
it's for other reasons.
Yeah, not for zombie apocalypse stuff, right? And I've had the misfortune / blessing of being in active shooter situations. I have been to situations where in the aftermath of somebody dying and by gunshot, and it's not what it looks like on TV. And so this idea that I'm good, man, I'll tell you what, it's different in real life. I've also been in some SWAT and hostage negotiation training where I was the bad guy. Multiple times I've done this, and it ends terribly for me because they're good at what they do, and I'm not. I just watch a lot of movies. So I'm telling you all that to tell you this. Be present where you are. Don't pick up the $100 bills in front of you. Make sure your family's healthy. Make sure you all love each other and you're connected and you'll have dinner together as much as you can around the table. Make sure you invite your neighbors over and you'll know each other. Do I have a deep freezer with about a year's worth of meat in it? Absolutely I do, right? So I'm a little bit, okay, maybe. And that proved pretty useful during COVID, right? So there's some little bitty things that are, I would call rational, that make sense. If the US dollar dissolves, your problems will be existentially bigger than, do I have a jar of jewels buried in my backyard? It will be such an epic, Wild West scenario that any sort of fantasy to try to think through what you would do and how you'd handle it is futile. It's a waste of time and energy. It's just a distraction from being present with your daughters. What I would recommend is taking a news fast for the next 60 days. Just get off. Turn it off. And do something that's going to be both super boring and drive you a little bit mad, and that will give you peace that you might not have had in a while, and that is get some coloring books and start coloring with your daughters. Get a small wrestling mat from Academy and start wrestling with your daughters. Y'all just have fun. Go outside as spring starts to, y'all are in a perpetual summer, right? But as spring starts to come on board, take your daughters out for hikes in the mountains. And become present where you are. And that's not a panacea, and that's not me putting my head in the sand. It's just getting out of that anxious state right into a world that I can actually impact, which is my family, my home right now. You get what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
And that is the least sexy, unfun, yeah, let's get. It's the least of all of that. But this is just me trying to be as practical as I can.
And the more you talk about it, Chris, the more your phone listens and then feeds you ads saying, buy gold, it's all coming crashing down. And here's Robert Kiyosaki telling you, I've seen it all. And so the truth is, when you're talking about societal collapse, you're saying every company in America goes bankrupt, goes to zero. That's what would have to happen for the stock market to collapse and for us to have economic collapse. And if that does happen, gold's not going to solve it. We'd go back to the bartering system, trading for food, water, fuel, and some ammunition.
Yeah, pelts will. Food.
And as Dave Ramsey said, at no time has gold been used as a medium of exchange in a crashed economy since the Roman Empire. So I don't own any gold, and I think if things go down and we make decisions based on fear, we end up poorer, not richer. And so I avoid precious metals. I don't encourage anyone to buy them. If you want to have some for fun, like you would buying some crypto with some fun money, knock yourself out. But I wouldn't use it as a hedge against anything.
Is that helpful at all, brother?
Yes, that helps a lot. Thank you so much for answering that.
Hey, Let me tell you this. Thank you for being a dad that's looking to the future and that's concerned about the direction of our country, about the way people are handling their business. Thank you for being that kind of dad. And then let's close our front door and say, okay, what can I do here? Let's make my bed first. Let's clean up my household, and then let's go to our neighbors, and then we'll go from there.
Why Refi refinances delinquent private student loans for struggling borrowers. Learn more at yrefy.com/Ramsey.